I've been wanting to make this video about the changes that I feel like I've gone through since I started my life coaching about it kind of almost a year ago now, with my mentor. And then just to kind of, just to show you what kind of things that I feel that life coaching can be useful with or for. Now, life coaching isn't quite, it's, in some ways it has a little similarities to like therapy, but I feel like it's much more like proactive and much less let's live in the pain, but let's more so like let's learn from the pain to stop the behaviors and change for the future. So like I feel like therapy lives in the past, life coaching lives in the present to change the future, if that makes sense. So to me it feels like it's much more like let's do something about this rather than let's just wallow and feel sorry for ourselves and blame people. Life coaching, you take all the ownership of where your life is, and learn how to change those things, the things that you want to change so that you can grow and be happier or healthier or stronger or whatever. In an earlier video I mentioned the 4 things that my mentor teaches is that we have relationships with time, relationships, health, and money, and those 4 things are kind of like the cornerstone of how we are doing, and that's kind of the things, the basis of who we are. So a year ago, I had been fed up with where my life had been for some time. I had gained a lot of weight. I was not really that happy as a mother. I just wasn't having very successful relationships, even with my own children, and things were just kind of like, I wasn't me. I didn't feel like I was myself any longer. And I used to really love and enjoy who I was. I felt like I had a lot of great energy and I was positive. And then I really became this kind of darker, like unhappy person who dealt with a lot of depression and things like that. So when I had the chance to work with my mentor, Jessica Alstrom, I jumped on it. And so, you start by acknowledging like where things, the difficult things, and then you start to look for patterns. So then you find these patterns of behavior and you're like, okay, this has come up over and over and over again in my life. And so how are we going to break that pattern so that we can improve and move forward? Okay, and that's kind of where the work that we did. And so in the year since I've started, because I think I started with her right around maybe Thanksgiving or a little bit after Thanksgiving, so it's been almost a year. But they're very tangible things, like I've lost like 50 pounds. I've gained a ton of muscle. I'm super strong at the gym, maybe stronger than I was when I was dancing full-time back in college. Probably not quite that strong, but pretty right back there. I feel like I've reverse aged like 10, 15 years. Sorry, it's really bright out. I feel like I've reverse aged like 10, 15 years. I feel like I did when I was 27, 28 years old, energy-wise. And for those of you who've known me that long, it was hard to keep up with me then, and I feel like that's kind of the way I am now. I'm working on my addiction to busyness. I'm very able to stay present through triggers, which I think is huge, and that's where so much of the learning comes in, is when you're being triggered by somebody, you have to realize that that's your stuff. That's not their stuff. They're not doing something to you. You are attracting that to you to teach you whatever lesson you need to learn to figure that out. And to me, that was the biggest shift, is because I learned to learn from the things that are pissing me off. Because I could have some patience issues, for those of you who know me well too. And so I've learned to sit through those triggers and say, what is it I'm supposed to be learning here? What pattern am I missing, or what pattern am I needing to acknowledge and to release and let go of, so that I can move forward and become a happier, healthier person and uplifting in myself. So those have been huge. My relationships have changed with the father of my 2 little ones. I feel like I'm very grateful for the role he has played in my life. For a long time, it was, he was part of the hardship in my life, but then now I realize how many amazing things he taught me about myself and things that I had to work on because of all the triggers that he brought to me. And it's helped me really level out that relationship, so that even though he's not really present in my children's lives, I can say good things about him, whereas for a long time I struggled to say good things. that was a huge one. I am a lot more patient with the kids. I'm much more present with them. Like, I play with them a lot now, whereas before I parented, and I feel like you can parent through play, and everyone's so much easier and lighter when we do that. There's not much fighting. Everyone's more cooperative. I'm very consciously parenting, and anyone who wants to learn more about conscious parenting, feel free to reach out, because it's really cool and it really changes the dynamic in your household. We do have our moments when we get stressed or tense, and it's usually because I'm keeping us busy, and then I know I need to step back and slow down and just bring back the play. So that's huge. And all the things that I used to look at as negatives, I realize are shortcuts to reaching that more positive self. And that, again, like I always say to people now, to people I work with, I say, when you can look at the negatives, what you used to look at as negatives, and be thankful and grateful for them and move into positive, it's like life-changing, because then you realize it's stepping you into your purpose, it's stepping you into the goals you have for your life, it's allowing you to set boundaries where you need to set boundaries, it's allowing you to really be purposeful, and all that stems from the things that you used to look at as negatives and hardships. And once you get there, it's a different ballgame. And I'm there. I almost never lose it in my trigger. A few times, when I'm overtired or overstressed, but I don't usually get there so much anymore. And that's a really nice place to be, especially as I'm a single mom with 3 kids. We're busy. I work a lot, and I'm trying to start my own business and doing all these things, and yet I'm like good. I'm kind of killing it. Making since I started coaching, I'm making about almost double. And I'm a teacher, public school teacher, so there's a limit on what you can make, but I'm making almost double at my job that I ever did before. And whether that's direct correlation to coaching or not, I don't know, but I'll take it. I'm not crying about it. My kids are killing it at school. They're really happy. They're turning into little leaders, all 3 of them, which is awesome to see as a parent. They're happy. They're a lot calmer than they used to be, which is nice. Let me think, what else has changed? I'm sure some of you could tell me what things have changed about me. I smile and I laugh and I'm happy and I play. Play for me was one that I struggled with. Like, everyone says, oh, just go play. And I had a hard time with that, because it's almost like I didn't know how to. Like, I was serious. Even when I was littler, I was a more serious kid. But now I'm just like, forget it. I go out on the trampoline with the kids and we play dumb games, and they tackle me, and it's fun. And life should be fun. Why not? It can change your vibration literally in an instant to let go and play. So that's been a really big one for me, that I have to remind myself occasionally when I get into that busyness rut, to get back to that play side. And I'm stepping into who I am. Like, I feel like people have looked up to me a lot. I've been a teacher, and so my students kind of look up to me in a way, but now I feel like I'm embracing that as an adult with my adult people too. And I'm hearing the echoes of that a lot. A lot of people, will say to me at the gym, like, I love watching you work out because you make it look so easy. And I'm over here thinking I'm dying because I still have some negative self-talk, but I'm, continuing to work on that as well. And so I'm starting to hear those mirrors, and I'm allowing myself to validate those things that are really cool. And my coworker, who I'm actually coaching with, she always tells me, she's like, you're just such a good coach. She's like, you make things so easy, and I can see them so clearly when you point them out. And she's like, you're so great with the kids, blah, blah, blah. And it's funny, because I used to not be able to accept a compliment, and now I'm like, you know what? Thank you. And I'm owning that, and that's really, really rad, because I know a lot of women, especially from my experience, have a hard time accepting compliments sometimes. And now today I made a video about the importance of receiving help, and my other coworker offered to help me out tomorrow, which was one of the tasks I had to accomplish. It was going to take me a few hours, and she's like, oh, I'll do it for you. And I just mentioned it. I didn't ask her, and she offered, and it's going to save me. And I said, you know what? Yes, please, thank you. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. And she's like, well, you're always helping me at work. And so it was really neat to have that kind of give and take exchange. There was an equal exchange of energy. And so to me, that's a win-win, and win-wins are awesome. So that's a huge one for me too. So yeah, those are the big things, and I'm sure there's some more things as well that have changed. But I feel very abundant financially, and not just because I'm making more money, but because like I don't even think about money anymore. It comes, it goes. If I want something, I get it, and I tend to buy more presently. So like I don't just go buy stuff to put a band-aid on something. It's more like this will really bring me joy. It's the, what's that condo lady? But yeah, I mean, like I don't just go buy stupid stuff, and so there is more money when it needs to be, but the flow is really nice. I've been traveling a little bit, spending time with friends, and like real true friends. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's neat. And this is all not even a year, and I didn't do the life coaching with her for a year. I did it for a 3-month thing, and then once I started working with her as a life coach in her business, we do some check-ins as well. So it's kind of continuing that way, but it's an all forever journey. You know, you're always trying to step up and step into who you are, and I feel like I'm 90% of the way, and it's really, really, really refreshing. So again, I'm not trying to push anybody to do life coaching, but if you feel compelled, if you feel called to seeing what it's about, feel free to reach out. I'll be glad to do a like a mini session with you, or consultation to see, help talk about what it's about, and if it would make sense for you. And if it would, then that's awesome, and we'll get it going, and hopefully in a year you'll have some awesome reviews about how awesome life coaching is. So all right, I'll go because that's a long video for me, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.